All right, a happy Thursday afternoon. Hopefully, everyone is doing great out there. I figured, in light of the Jonathan Kuminga news that broke Wednesday evening around dinner time, we would do a little bit of a short video and kind of just walk you through the semantics and kind of what led up to Kuminga signing for or agreeing to, he hasn't signed yet, to the tax mid-level exception in Minnesota. As you can see, I have a little bit of a different setup behind me. I spent Saturday rearranging my office, and there's a couple other new surprises I'm going to talk about towards the end of this video also here. So a little bit about Kaminga, because I think there's a lot of information out there as far as what's right and what's not right. So he agrees with Minnesota for 12.4 million dollars. We're going to show you these fun graphics that our people at Optic Media were able to put together for us. We actually have all 30 teams, where we're just kind of fine tuning everything. And as we do these videos, we will also incorporate these great graphics also here. So when you look at it from Atlanta's perspective, right? Kaminga's player team option gets declined. There's this misnomer out there that Atlanta could have signed and traded Kaminga for 14, $15 million, 13, $14 million. That is inaccurate. Because where Atlanta is, and I know that the apron rules and how it relates to sign and trade. And yes, if you are acquiring a player in a sign and trade like Cleveland is, you get hard capped at the first apron. However, because where Atlanta was, I think they're roughly $11 million below the first apron. They were not allowed to sign and trade Kaminga for 12, $13 million, go over the first apron, make a trade, even if the post-transactional salary leaves them below. I got a string on my shirt here. So that was basically, so when you're looking at Lakers sign and trade scenarios, basically the number would have been like three for 33, three for 34, had to be a full 3 years, no player team option. So basically, Kaminga is getting locked in on that contract. And then you look at it from Atlanta's perspective, where they are with regards to luxury tax, they're $4 million below the luxury tax. They're going to get a cap hit likely on Mo Gay, who is injured right now and is on a non-guaranteed contract because of salary continuation. I get like my C's all out of sorts there, but likely until he's healthy, they're going to get capped it. So they can't waive him right now and get $2 million in or $2.4 million in salary relief until he gets healthy. If he doesn't get healthy till February, they will be on the hook cap related to pay him that amount. So where they are right now, roughly $4 million below the uh, luxury tax. So you're not going out and you're making um, um, a trade for, and you're going to go into luxury tax unless it's something that's coming back to significant. So I always thought the Laker scenario was kind of like the last resort, and that's basically if you wanted to do Kaminga a favor. You look at other teams that are out there. Certainly, Portland was out there. Milwaukee was out there. Milwaukee basically had $9, $10 million to offer. Chicago was out there with a room mid-level, $9 million. Portland, $8 to $10 million out there. And then all of a sudden, here comes Minnesota into the equation. So we're going to share this. This is awesome. I love this. I love these things. I love interactive. Um, all right. So here's Minnesota. Okay, this is before the Kaminga. I actually had put Kaminga in, then I took him out because I don't want to assume anything as far as how they're going to go out and assign him, and then basically have to make some cost-cutting moves here. So here's your starting five. This was as of yesterday morning, right? You got LaMelo, Io, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels at the four, and Rudy Gobert. Okay, that's where you were yesterday morning. Here is your reserves, right? Um, Josh Green, we're going to talk about him in a minute. Dante, who's hurt, coming off the Achilles. Juan Berenger, Jalen Clark, Terrence Shannon Jr., Bones Highland, Trey Lyles, and Isaiah Evans. What happens now is you will likely see Io go to the bench and basically everybody else slide up. Edwards to the two, McDaniels to the three, and likely Kaminga to the four. Okay, so that is kind of where you are. Here's where you are salary wise. Okay, and this is why we're talking about why you have to make a move. If you sign a player to the tax mid-level exception, you are now hard capped at the second apron. They were already hard capped because of the LaMelo trade. Right now, they're roughly $4 million. So basically, it comes down to math. Okay. So what are they going to do? So here are your two options. Let's go back to the reserves. The first option is that you're going to take Josh Green, who's owed $14.7 million, and you're going to waive and stretch him by Saturday at 5 o'clock. He's got 14.7 left. Basically, the formula is for the waive and stretch is years remaining. So he's got 1 year multiplied by two plus one. So you would take that amount and you would stretch it amongst, it's roughly 4.7, $4.8 million, and that would count against the cap for the next 3 seasons. That would give you enough room to go out and sign two players to the veteran minimum exception. I'm hearing a lot of Dante DiVincenzo. I will bet my 401k that it ain't going to be Dante DiVincenzo because I would expect him being back sometime soon. So you can either waive and stretch Josh Green or we have up here, or you're going to try to trade Josh Green for a player making $8 to $10 million, and that would give you the flexibility to go out and roughly $8 million to go out and sign Kaminga and also sign a replacement player. The problem is, here's other things we can show here real quick. This is actually we didn't show this last time. This is a fun little thing. This is kind of where they were before the summer. This is where they were before the summer. Now this is after going into the summer. Boom, LaMelo. Bet one, two, three, four guys making over $26 million. Okay, let's go back to here. The problem with trading Josh Green, who's got 1 year left, is who is the team out there? And when you look at it from, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about the Lakers. Lakers are over a luxury tax. You're basically going to take on a $8, $9 million cap hit, push them closer to the first apron. Minnesota has one tradable second. And it's basically a Memphis second in 2030 if it's 51 to 60. So the trade standpoint, and they've got no first to trade. The trade standpoint is going to be harder. So I would expect that by Saturday, early evening, that is probably going to be Josh Green in a wave and stretch. I would expect, I don't think Jonas Valanciunas has been waived and stretch. I would expect that to happen in Denver. He was already waived, as my friend Mike Scotto reported. DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento waived and stretched. So 10 million, 1 year left times two plus one is three, divided by 10, $3.3 million. That gets him under the luxury tax. Benedict Mathurin agreed to a deal with New Orleans. The Clips are going to with poll. Basically, it has to be the Clippers and Mathurin either have to agree on polling that because it's binding right now, polling that qualifying offer. I would look for New Orleans to make a trade. They can't sign him outright because of the apron. Keep an eye on Jordan Hawkins is certainly a name to keep an eye on going out in a deal. I would think something closer to September 6th. Okay. So that is a little bit of a kind of the semantics as far as where it's coming. I'm not going to get into did his agent do him wrong, all this stuff. I see all this stuff on social media. I know the journey of Jonathan Kuminga. We laughed internally saying because he's got that player option, we're going to go through this again next year here. It helps Minnesota. I mean, basically, at the end of the day, and this is not Charlotte. I'm not talking about Charlotte here. You basically flipped Naz Reid and Julius Randle for LaMelo and Kaminga, re-sign Io. I know it costs you some draft equity, but I do like it, and it helps. It helps them immensely as far as where they are because I said it probably Kaminga in the starting lineup, bumps Io to six man, and then basically kind of balances out your roster. We'll see what else they do with their roster leading up to training camp here. A couple of housekeeping notes. We are working on a new trade machine internally at ESPN. I've been here 10 years. I've been banging the drum for 10 years to get something. I understand what we have. I understand what we have is not good enough. So we have been working internally. We're beta testing it right now. I think it could be awesome. It's not going to be the bells and whistles like Spotrac has, but I do think it could be something really cool. What have I done the last month? I built out my own website. It's not public. There is a possibility down the road we do make it public, but I think it's the best website out there. And I know you're probably saying, wait a minute, you're talking about it's the best website out there, but it's not public. It's private because we're still testing a lot of things out, but it's better than any team has out there when you take into account salary cap, when you take into the CBA, when you take into the teams, when you take into the draft. There's an FAQ in there, there's agent stuff in there. We basically have taken, there's like 25 different features in there. Um, and it's really, really good. We basically have linked all of my information, and one of my former SBC students, Will DeAndre, built this monster out for me, and it's awesome. It took him about a month to do, and maybe down the road we open it up to the public and we'll see what happens. But that is it. Just wanted to talk about Kaminga a little bit and kind of the ramifications. I was going to bring Wendy on here and have him sit over my shoulder and talk about his good friend Jonathan Kuminga. But at the end of the day, Minnesota gets better. And I think they're the third best team in the Western Conference. I think Denver has taken a step back. I think there's a lot of parity after that. I think them and Lakers potentially could be the two top teams there, be outside of OKC and San Antonio. So that is it. Have a great day. Jalen Duren is really the only big thing hanging out there. And of course, the clip stuff needs to still get figured out. You all have a great day. We will talk soon.